A tiny fluffy duckling waddles up to a calm body of water and looks around. It had been a while since the little one had gotten to swim, and it was eager to jump in and play. So without another thought, it immediately began to swim. At first, the duckling was a bit wobbly in the water and could only manage to swim in tight circles. It didn't seem to mind, though. It kept up its paddling motion, going round and round in ever-decreasing circles, until it was just a tiny ball of fluff in the center of the pond. This would have been an utterly adorable sight for any animals or humans who happened to be watching. But the duckling was so focused on its swimming that it didn't notice anyone else around. For a while, the duckling continued its routine, taking comfort in the feeling of the cool water and the soft mud at the bottom of the lake. It must have been quite some time before the little one finally noticed that something was off. As the duckling continued to swim in ever-decreasing circles, it began to feel like the water was getting a bit warmer. The little one looked around and saw that the sun was shining brightly in the sky, and realized that it must have been a while since it had taken a break. The duckling paddled to the edge of the water and waddled back onto the shore. It shook its feathers and took a moment to rest before jumping back into the water and continuing its swim. By this point, the animals watching from afar were beginning to get quite concerned. They had never seen a duck swim like that before, and they couldn't help but wonder why the duckling was going in circles. The duckling continued its routine for a while longer, but eventually it became clear that the little one wasn't going to stop. The animals watching were left with more questions than answers, but they couldn't help but be fascinated by the duckling's strange behavior. After a particularly long swim, the duckling finally decided to take a break. As it paddled to the shore, it noticed an older, wiser duck watching it with a curious expression. "Why do you swim like that?" the old duck asked. "I've never seen a young one swim in circles like that before." The duckling looked up at the old duck and smiled. "I was just meditating," it said. The old duck was taken aback. "Meditating? But why in circles?" The duckling shrugged. "It's the only way I know how," it said. "It's an ancient duckling meditation technique," the old duck explained. "We used to do it all the time when we were young." The other animals watching couldn't believe their ears. They had been so concerned about the duckling, but it had been meditating the whole time. And although the duckling's swimming technique was a bit strange, it was clear that it was enjoying itself. The other animals watched as the duckling jumped back into the water and began swimming in circles once again. This time, though, they understood that the duckling was just taking some time to relax and clear its mind. In the end, the duckling's strange behavior turned out to be nothing more than a peaceful meditation technique. And the other animals learned that sometimes what appears to be odd behavior is simply a matter of perspective.